Okay, now we're in.
All right. So it's Friday here in the basement.
On today's episode of We're Trapped. Stockholm Syndrome. We think we're fine. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Really a crack. Hello.
That one's
Yeah, go get that one.
upside down and inside out. Okay, now we're recording and we're testing to see if this mic works. And I hope that it does.
And that this one works too.
And that whatever that third one is doesn't create any problems. Oh, it did. It did. It went.
Let's just record for longer. Does this one work? That one definitely works.
Does this one work?
Does this one work? Does that one work? Okay, now I'm going to let it sit for a minute because it's been cutting us off early. And recording. Because it could have been... Oh, we're talking heads, literally. Hello.
Oh, yeah, we're testing the audio. Hey, Mom.
Okay, I'm going to test this audio. Can you hear just this microphone?
I'm going to test this audio. Can you hear just this microphone?
Wait, because it cuts us off for some reason. Yes.
That this translates to incredible opportunities for us for sales and creativity and
Relationships.
and health and a better world for all.
Whoa, okay, that you got really ambitious at the end there.
And I want a car for Christmas.
And a car. And this episode is brought to you by Rouse's. Apparently, we're repping them.
Artisan water. I didn't know Rouse
Okay, so we had a hurricane, and I thought we needed water, even though clearly there's already things there. I need to get some coasters, which I should have coasters to sell anyway.
My legs are ashy, so
There you
I'm just
go.
gonna rub it on.
Okay, let's see. You think we're close?
Are we recording?
Yep, I just pushed it earlier.
Okay.
I just wanted to not lose any magic or anything.
Okay, that's all good. We can use all that.
I mean, Rouse's is for sure going to be sponsoring us before we know it, A. And B, okay, how do we look? I like that we can look at ourselves. I hope I'm getting a good profile of this action right here. I kind of like that we can see ourselves,
Yeah.
you know, so that way I'm not like, and then at the end I'm like, wait, what was my posture? What happened to my posture? But I was going to piggyback. Oh, thank you so much. You do too. I just love this, like, when we're a little bit bigger, it's going to be better, but because you guys are missing out on the camera. The whole space itself, cohesively, right? Between the, a little bit higher up, a little lower. You'll see our shoes next time. Her shoes are fabulous, which I love.
They were, honestly, I think they were $15 at H&M, and I've worn them way beyond.
I've already
They're
seen you wear them like 12 times, and I'm really impressed that they haven't broken like mine did literally a week ago.
Oh, they did. I was walking in the corner, and the little thing got caught in
Oh, no.
a brick hole, and I kept walking, and it did it. And I just went back and stamped it right back in.
Did you really? You didn't have to glue or anything?
No.
You just popped it right back in?
These aren't those kind of shoes.
No, but that's great. I thought you were going to tell me that you brought them to like a cobbler. Is that what they're called?
Oh, yeah. No,
I thought you were going to say you brought them to a shoe cobbler.
I do need to bring some shoes to a cobbler. These ones, I think I just have to accept, like, this was their first only in the summer.
Really? That's okay. Hey, I roll through shoes like, I don't know, my kids go through underwear because they're constantly ripping them. But, no, but they do. It's on my list to buy them new ones now anyway. But, no, I go through because I just wear them all the time. Even if I buy nice, expensive shoes, the only ones which they're very new, are those cowgirl, as my kids would say, in boots. But that's because we walk a lot, right? You're always walking. Okay, I want to start with this hand. And just, I mean, not that we haven't started for a long time. We've been hanging out for a while, so you guys missed out. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping the decision on these chairs, for helping set up, for really just, I'm so glad that I know you, like I said, and I really mean it. I just want to say thank you, and I love you, and woohoo! So I want to start with that. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into these questions that I just threw on the ground. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you ready? They're hard hitting.
Really, you did all of this. It's amazing. It's so cool.
She's lying. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, I'm acting different. We have a camera. I'm not used to cameras, okay? Okay, actually, this is kind of a hard-hitting question. Okay, you have overcome a lot of adversity in your life. Where do you feel like you find the strength? Is it just through where do you find the strength?
Oh, that's really interesting. The strength, I guess there's like an underlying curiosity, honestly. Where
Okay.
it's like, what happens if I turn it into something useful or beautiful? So there's like just an element of my nature that's curious. And then I think the other part is like somewhere within me, I feel like it can go somewhere. So it's kind of like digging out of a hole that somewhere within me I know like it ends. So I guess like, and it does, like you
Like
know,
all the like anything that's not great isn't gonna last forever. Is that what you mean?
I mean
Or like it all ends because we're all gonna die one day.
Those are both good
I
points.
kind of was like, wait, that was really dark, even though it sounded great.
Yeah, no, we'll die. I guess there's that.
We're really inspiring and uplifting here in the basement.
Look, we want everybody to know they're gonna die.
Just in case you missed that part, everyone's dying, okay? Like, we don't know when, but everyone's dying. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to you. I'm sorry. I was very tuned in. And okay.
It's true.
We're down here telling the truth. That's all.
Yeah, we're hard hitting. I'm sorry.
No, it's kind of like, okay, let's see. It's like, as cheesy as this is, it's like Michelangelo's like, I saw the angel in the marble and I carved him until I set him free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's sort of like, some part of me was like, come on. And it's not to say like I didn't want to quit a bunch of times, but
Sure. I feel like when anything comes anybody's way, whether it's like, oh no, I'm a little late, or the most trivial problems to the largest of problems that we couldn't even fathom, no matter what, you're like, unless we do die, right then and there, there's
you will.
but you will, not yet. But unless you do die, there's going to be another side of it, right? So it's like how there's going to be, how do we get there?
yeah, and I also feel like, I guess like objectively, I'm really blessed and like have been given assets and like opportunities that other people who have had adversity don't. And so it feels kind of like it's my job to be like, go back and get my homies, you know? So
Right.
it's like also, can I make a path or a possibility that somebody else who didn't have those advantages or blessings can use?
Sure.
Because we're all here together.
You are, we are, but you are right in that, like, I love that you're counting your blessings. Like, affirmations every day, you can say that you're going to say them, but really, like, let's be just as blanket honest as possible. Like, we're born in America, it's like, we could have been born in, not so great of a place. Like, you're right. There's a lot of things we need to be thankful for. And, like, the more that we say those, the more that we're reminded of those, the more that they're in the front and are there to help us get through, I think, some of these things. But you're here to help people through those who don't have all that, which is really admirable, by the way. Like,
Thanks.
very, very impressive. I should have put these in a different order. Okay, so, all right, well, you kind of already answered the next question then. Like, on a day-to-day basis, do you think just applying that, like, I'm lucky to be here, I'm happy to be in the situation that I'm in, even though it's hard, do you think that just helps you on a day-to-day basis? Is that something bigger that happens when bigger things happen?
I mean, honestly, like, it's been a bit of a process. I call it the spiritual revolution, where it was sort of like, I started in one point, had a set of beliefs, came to see which of those were learned, which of those weren't helpful. Like, who knows what I haven't seen yet, but
Sure.
the end result is basically, like, and it's what a blessing. Like, I really feel like I get to live the rest of my life alive, because it's like, I've come to terms with, I can be as miserable or as happy as I want, and yet there are features of your experience you don't have control over until you do. And so it was kind of coming to accept, like, this hurts, these things aren't present, these are the choices that I'm making. Okay. And like, just keep doing that until really, like, my nervous system calmed down enough that now it just, like, I recognize, like, I'm gonna die, so.
The overall theme.
We should call
Has-
this episode.
Has to be.
You're
Has
gonna
to be.
die.
Has to be. We're all gonna die one day, so F it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's kind of like, I look at it like this is my moment, and there's nothing in it that won't be elsewhere, or elsewhere that won't be here. And so I can have as great of a time.
Wait, elaborate about that. What do you mean?
I mean, like, we make our feelings inside mostly.
Yes.
And so I've had really incredible circumstances that you think would make you happy, but my insides are still hurting. And so
Sure.
I wasn't, and vice versa. So I think that it's coming to see that it's really a choice I get to make every day.
Yes.
Or every moment. Do I want to have a good time or not?
Right. So you can't really let your mood or your happiness, that whatever it is, be dependent upon external circumstances.
Or even internal, because once you start to like drive inside, then if you're not driving, you can feel some type of way about that.
Stale
I shouldn't
stuff.
be this. I shouldn't think or feel.
Uh-huh.
And there's like this level of acceptance on top of whatever other experience you're having that then starts to feel like peace. And then the peace builds till there's space to see and choose. So it's kind of like, oh, I feel sad, or I feel confused, I feel hurt, or I feel wronged, and it's sort of like, that's okay, and then you let that be okay. It's not pushing happiness or pushing positivity, it's acceptance, and then that makes more space.
That is so impressive in advance, because I feel like I'm that push happiness. Toxic positivity, I like hear myself saying it, but you're right, like just let it be, sit in that feeling. It just seems so much healthier because it's going to be there. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's underlying, which is cool. And then I think, like, you know, we get fearful about being fearful, and we get mad about being mad, and it's like, but this is I'm a human. I'm gonna feel all the things. I'm gonna break stuff.
Right.
Stuff's gonna, you know.
We're going to go through it. You can't just be one way all the time.
Yeah.
No, that's really advanced and impressive. I'm going to go in a little bit of a lighter. I said I was going to start light, and I totally lied to you, because I actually rewrote these this morning before I printed it out, compared to.
Oh, you printed them? That's so
Well,
cute.
it's and then
You've
I.
done such a good job with all of this.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this
Look at
goes.
this,
We'll,
look
we'll,
at this,
we'll
look at
see.
this.
We'll see where we go from here. Oh, okay, yeah. So you're fit, you're healthy, you're mentally clearly, we can all tell, those of us that are still here, not dead yet, you're very mentally healthy. You're super strong for even though you're smaller stature. So I know that you work out, you tell me you deadlift, this and that. Has physical fitness always been important to you? Or is that something you like gained later in life because you're like, well, I just want to not be in pain? Like, where did that stem from?
That was interesting. I think I found my first exercise program when I was like 11.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It
Like
was
a program?
Yeah, I like wrote myself.
Wait, what was that? Yeah.
It was like, do this many crunches.
You're
Yeah.
yourself.
It was crazy. I mean, that came from like trying to deal with circumstances like I couldn't deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did start to work out pretty regularly. Like, I was the crazy girl, pretty much in general, but at my friends' sleepovers, like, I'd be doing crunches or something while everybody else was like watching the movie.
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
you feel like you just had energy you wanted to get out, or were you like, this is, we're not being productive, or what do you think?
There's an element of productivity. It's always been hard for me to just kind of like check out.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, you know,
We
there's
can
a
do
level-
something while we're watching this movie, dang it, right?
Yeah, and I think it's safe for you too. There's like a level
Oh,
of
100%.
stimulation or engagement that's required. It feels like living to me, and otherwise it feels like I'm not.
Yeah, what am I doing? I'm just a slug.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess
Well,
like,
so it's always kind of been there then, is what you're saying.
yeah. And in varying degrees of like healthiness and not healthiness.
Sure. Oh yeah, it can definitely get to where it's obsessive. And I know there's lots of people that are, you know, go to the doctor, their blood work's great, they're healthy, but it's like, how healthy is this that you're doing, you know, that much working out, which cannot be. But it seems like you're in a pretty good place with it now. So what gym do you go to?
I go to Ochsner.
Where is that?
It's on Carondelet and Poitras.
Oh, so it's not far from you at all.
That's
Okay,
right down the street.
cool. Because you're so close to, what is it, New Orleans Athletic Club? Have you been there?
I love that.
No, me too. I love going there. My buddy was a member for the longest time, and so I would go with him. Anytime I'd see him, I'd go there, and like Saturday mornings if we were out. And I just haven't been in a long time, but I love it, and I love the history of it. It's so fascinating.
It's such a cool space.
Yeah. Well, working out definitely good. What's good for the body? In my brain, I'm like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But in my brain, I was gonna spin it and say what's good for the body is good for the mind, which is also true. Those are
That's
both
so true.
those are
Yeah,
both
yeah,
true.
yeah.
But also, I like the goose and gander
Yeah, they
situation.
hang out together.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, even lighter hitting.
Okay, and do you want to comment on sort of your experience of these things?
Of me
well?
working out?
Yeah.
Sure. I was trying not to make it about me, but if you're gonna ask,
Yeah. Yeah,
I It was never a thing. Like, we would stretch. I was in gymnastics when I was a kid from like, oh God, like 5 or 6 till maybe, I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look. I did it for 9 years, whatever those 9 years were. So, like, being physical, and I think that that's really important at those, like, your critical period when your body is evolved, like, growing, I guess. Till this day, I can, like, palm the ground, bend over and palm it. And people are like, what are you doing?
What's that mean?
And just, like,
Oh, okay. Cool.
like the way you palm, you know? That was real great for the non-shoes part of the segment of the thing. But you know what I mean?
Touch the ground.
I just palmed the ground. I was giving the ground a high five. So I'm flexible, and I feel like that I'm really strong. And it's kind of the same thing, but
Super strong.
maybe less so. That it's kind of gone through its whole, like, more so, a little unhealthy. But, like, I took weight training 2 different electives, 2 different semesters in college, just so I could learn the proper way to, like, use the bar and the Smith machine and this and that. So I, like, didn't get injured. But then, like, I was the loser that was a gymnast turned cheerleader, so I'm the failure. All the gymnasts know it. They're like, you had to be a cheerleader. But even then, we had to do so many, like, same thing, bar. So I was clearly a base. And to squat girls, you had to know the proper form to do it, otherwise you would get hurt, you know? That's not to say I didn't break my nose twice in cheerleading. So it is a sport, people. But I just think being active, even if I'm not, which there's been times in my life where I've just been so busy that I haven't been able to get to it. Like the gym per se, I'm still at home, like, hey, 100 spots a day. Like, it just feels good to, like, to move.
Yeah.
And look, we can all talk about the health benefits and the longevity, whatever. I do a lot of things that aren't that healthy, but that just, like, my mind, if I'm not moving, it's hard. Like, this is challenging to just sit down for this long. I just like moving, so I think that it's important. But I just find it impressive, anyone that, like, you talk about it a lot and you're like, I was in the gym today. Anybody that keeps that routine, in addition to the physical, you know, the positivity of being physical and all that, you having the discipline to keep up with it is just as impressive as doing it, you know?
Well, I think it's like what you're saying, where it's not really discipline as much as, like, essential. It's like,
Right.
I want to do it, because if I don't do it, I can't do anything else well.
Right.
It's really hard for me to think if I haven't moved.
That's true. Same.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the best when I'm, like, physically doing stuff.
Yeah, and I will add, though, like, you know, with coaching and kind of, like, exploring individuality, I find that there are ideas we have about how much we should move that are learned when there's a lot more variability. So, like, what's correct for us might not be correct for somebody else. Like,
Sure.
somebody else might need a little bit more rest time, or, you know, and we're not wrong for being on one end of the spectrum. We're
Mhm.
not wrong for being at the other. It's just different.
Absolutely. Everybody's at different levels. I mean, think about it. The way that you're saying that, most people sit at a desk all day.
Yeah.
Most people are sitting, you know, doing this, and that's how people have their job. I mean, yes, you can have a standing desk, but then you're just standing. It's not like you're. So, I mean, I would say we're on this one end of the spectrum, and I think you're, you know, whatever, better than me in that. But hey, I can bend over and pick up kids really easily though. But I'm used to doing most of that. But I would say we're super lucky that we have the ability to, like, interject being physical, not just in the gym, but, like, into our day-to-day lives. You know?
Yeah.
Going for a bike ride here, like, the fact that I have this schedule, and I'm only realizing it now. I'll say this, I don't want to go into any detail, but there's some family and genetics and health and whatnot, and my sister and my brother, they're like, well, Crystal's probably the best one because she moves all the time. We just sit on our asses and we're all doing computer work all day. And I was like, you chose that career, aren't you? Hey, come on now. You don't think that was in my brain when I chose what I want to do for a living and it wasn't sitting down all day? Like, of course I was like, I'm hyper, I gotta move. What can I do that moves? I do manual labor, woodworking. Like, that was all like, okay, well, I can do work while I'm physically you know what I mean? Like, lifting up 70-pound doors. Like, it's a double checking off 2 birds, you know, I don't want to kill any birds. No birds were...
They're gonna die.
They're not going to die. The birds are not. They're all going to die. The birds are all going to die. That's actually very true. Okay, back to Deb. I'm so glad we're trying to keep it positive. Guys, this is a growth and wellness until you die podcast.
Just keeping it real. No, you know, it really, like, one of the things that is so cool to me is how much foresight you have, and, like, the ability to, like, really know and apply yourself in ways that, like, work for you. Like, you have a very good grasp of the ground, and, like, can see through it and beyond it and make choices. It's really cool.
Trees to the forest type of thing.
Well, it seems like just like what you've been able to, like, think through as far as like your home and you know, your investments and the gallery and your art, like you're able to see things beyond, I don't know.
I just call it bigger picture.
Yeah,
You
got
gotta
it.
you gotta zoom outside. You have to zoom outside of yourself. I think I do, and go, because that's how I've got. You're talking about the way that you've gotten through a lot of adversity, which is what I was asking in the beginning. For me, I zoom out and pretend I'm not even that person. I pretend I'm a stranger or my mom or no, and go, how am I? And then I know that I'm not, but I go, pretend you're that other person, and you yourself. Not famous, but I say it all the time. I go, think 1 year, 5 years, 10 year. So in 1 year, how am I going to tell this story to XYZ? Think of an imaginary person, or think of what am I going to tell such and such in a year when I haven't seen them, and I'm going to recap. And they're going to be like, what have you been up to? Am I going to be proud of what I'm saying? Am I going to be embarrassed? Am I going to keep it a secret because I'm that embarrassed? Don't you want to be proud of what, you know what I mean? And look, I'm not proud. There's things I don't say. Obviously, we all have. I'm like, nah, nobody's talking that I got Raising Cane's for my family last night, okay? In my defense, the Willow School had a fundraiser at Raising Cane's. I've never given my kids fast food. That's not to say never, but like I've never gone out and be like, this is what's for dinner. It's usually like we're on a road trip or whatever. Last night, the PTSA was like, we're having a fundraiser, go to Raising Cane's, mention the Willow School, and they were like, this is for the fundraiser? Well, I was like, yep, that's us. Like, I only had the one kid, and went and picked up the other one. So yeah, I'm lazy, and I give my kids Raising Cane's every once in a while. So I'm not very proud of that, yet I'm telling it on a camera.
Well, I guess like, first of all, you're not lazy. I've not seen like a lazy hair on your body. And second of all, like I think that again, going back to like these meta levels of consideration, where it's like here's the action, and then the judgment on the action creates problems where the action just is. You know, like
Sure.
sometimes, you know, I think of choices on a spectrum. Like you have the one you like the best, like the gold version.
Yep.
And if it's not that, it doesn't mean that anything else on the spectrum isn't correct.
A failure, yeah.
Yeah, and I find too, like, honestly, like, so much is attitude and energy that you bring to it. So
100%.
if I'm coaching somebody out of, like, binge eating or, like, a toxic relationship, the more that you relax, the more information you bring in, and the more you want to make a different choice.
Sure.
Whereas, like, if you're wrestling in your head saying, like, it's bad that I did this, how am I going to explain this? Like, you don't really take in how it actually feels, which would be what made you be like, maybe not.
Right. Your gut or your like internal voice saying not so great.
Well, that, but also just like the actual like consequence of the choice, where it's like I'm into ice cream, but if I eat
I'd be worried if you weren't. Okay. Let's be honest.
But like my body, not so much.
Sure.
So like, if I make eating ice cream like a moral thing, and I make it in my head, then I don't actually feel it's not so great. Like it doesn't feel that great, and so then I'm so busy with the argument that I keep making the same choice because the truth of it is like I really don't want to. I don't like it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I'm so glad I have that recorded because I'm gonna re-listen to that part. not because I'm that it, but no, that's very well said. Very good advice.
It's really interesting. Like there's so much that we perpetuate just because we're talking about it.
You're speaking truth to something that really doesn't even have the power, and yet you're giving it the power because you keep in your head. Either you're talking about it in your head, or you're talking about it out loud, or I think that's. I may have told you this about the Uber driver, the red.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of what this guy who might be a blood, I mean, was saying. But yeah, he said, don't talk about what you don't want to do. Don't talk about what you don't want, because you're giving more energy and power to that than instead of just directly saying, point A to point B. There's no reason to bring all these little fractions into it. I just sent letters with numbers. I did like 1 and 2 with fractions in between. Yeah.
And honestly, like going back to the adversity thing, that can be a trap as well, where you get in this warrior mindset and this identity of like, I'm someone who overcomes, and you listen to that music and you read that stuff, and then there's no room for things to be easy.
Right.
And so you almost have to let what was be what was if you want to have a shot at something else.
Sure, if you want to move forward at all. Otherwise, you're kind of just stuck in that, which I think that happens to a lot of people. They become what they've gone through.
Yeah, and like God bless them. Like it's easy. And what I found, like kind of the door beyond that, and like I'm sorry, I'm like going into all my favorite like.
No, I want
this.
to. Yeah, no. I hope you're not giving away the keys to the kingdom here, because I'm learning so much.
No.
But no, go. Yeah, you just go wherever you want to.
What I find is like, what you're looking for when you keep it active is for somebody to be able to say like, man, that really sucked.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And if you offer that to yourself rather than looking at for external, then you almost don't need to talk about it as much anymore because it's like you've seen you. You're like, man, like if you look at you in the mirror and you're like, wow, like that was a lot, and you really give yourself the honor for it because no one else is gonna be able to do it like
Right.
nobody really knows all the little things that are happening inside you but you.
Right. Even if you try to reiterate them or talk to them, I think it's very common for people to say something without even caring what the other person says, hoping and expecting for them to give them what they're asking for.
Oh.
Like to set people up. The most blanket one that we've all seen and possibly been a victim of, not a victim, but like a problem maker of ourselves, is when we were younger, like, oh my God, I look so fat in this dress. And I'm like, no, you don't, right? Like that's the most
yeah.
blanket, like you're looking for other people to tell you, you're not fat, you look great, which is like nuts. You can't say anything to look for or expect. You're right, you can't expect anyone. You should be saying it to yourself. You should look in the mirror and say, and that's like the most blanket, I think every little girl can, when we were younger, it was the biggest whatever. But yeah, it's up to you to be comfortable with your body. It's up to you to be comfortable with yourself instead of looking for other people to tell you. Or whatever problem that you've gone through, which is what you were saying. I just brought it to little me being fat.
Well, I think like with the body thing, like that goes back to like the ideas where it's like, if you didn't know what you were supposed to look like, then how would you think,
Sure.
And like for women, like God bless them, like it's a lot.
It's so much. I think it is getting better though. I mean, just looking back, like when we were younger. I mean, think about the Friends cast. We were all supposed to,
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh my gosh! And now you look at TV, and it really is. You can see, and some people, that we have to represent everyone. Why not? For these little kids that are watching things, they have someone to look up to that looks like them. Whether that be size, shape, background, color, hair, everything that's different. We're all going to be who we're going to be. I think it's getting better for girls, women. I'm just being hopeful, maybe, because I have two little girls, and I want it to be better for them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have to look like so. Yeah. Okay. This is all amazing. I'm like feeling so. Soul points are through the roof right now. Well, this one's like kind of not out of left field. It's very, very basic. I should have started with these boring questions next. Okay, so we're in New Orleans, in case, no one knows. You're not from here. I mean, neither am I. But like, what drew you to this city? It's kind of a two-parter. And how are you feeling about it lately?
Oh, honey, okay.
Because we can all say what kind of, like a lot of people, oh, the culture, that, like, right, of course, but for you specifically, like what brought you, like how did it sink its hooks inside of you?
Well, unlike you, I was not operating with a lot of foresight or logical decision making. I was just out there.
Love it.
And I was in Dallas, and I was in a really great relationship, a really stable situation, and that was unsettling to me based on like the chaos I was used to. And I got this idea that I had more of myself to discover.
Oh, wow.
And so then I started to look on Sonder, which is like a pretty, like, I don't know if it's like an Airbnb, like hotel blend. And I like narrowed it down. I'd been to New Orleans in 2018 for 36 hours once, just like around Audubon Park. That was it. I didn't know anybody here.
Did you fly in and have like a long layover, or did you drive through and stay for a night?
I can visit somebody.
Okay, so you meant to come here.
In 2018, yeah, I came here.
For 36 hours.
Yeah.
That alone says a lot about you. Like, I just wanted to go for 36 hours. No, that's great.
Well,
like a day and a half. No, it's
here.
cool.
Yeah, well, so I came and I left, and then in 2020, like, I had that idea, and so I showed up with a carry-on suitcase, a backpack, and a shoulder bag. And
When in 2020?
December 2020.
Okay. No, a lot of people made moves into, that's okay. I didn't know if you came here and then the pandemic happened, or because that one
right in the middle, which was like interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean a lot of people. Wait a minute, you traveled during COVID? No, I'm just kidding. I think everyone ended up on a plane, even though we were supposed to. Yeah. Okay, so 2020 December.
Yeah, and I got off the plane and I was like, huh. And then I fell in love like instantly. Like I walked around and I was like, and it's dirty here.
Yeah. Only if you look down though. If you look up, it's real pretty.
I mean, even though. Like,
and then you step in a puddle of sludge and you're like, dang it.
But even that, like I took a picture yesterday when I was out walking around of like this concrete that was cracking and like it's beautiful.
Yep.
Like it got my heart in a way that then I would told this person like, oh, I'm gonna stay here. Like I love the city.
So you intended in December 2020, not 2018, to just have a trip, like to stay for a short period of time, or you were just like, we'll see where my spirit takes me?
We'll see.
Okay.
So I got here, I stayed for a couple months in temporary housing, then I got the place I'm in now. And I
wonderful.
absolutely loved it. And
I mean, well, you're in a pretty magical place. So.
yeah,
She lives at. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not that hard to find.
No. Well, you're really protected too. But no, okay. So then, yeah, 3 years now. Right? Almost. Yeah. Almost four. Wow, I'm really good at math. What? Yeah. How are you? What's your relationship with the city like these days?
Well, I guess.
Are you still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? I guess is my real question. Like, no. Okay.
Yeah, I got a little like handled.
Yeah.
And I think that there's like a relationship that I have with the city now of like respect.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, like there's a depth here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a feeling to it.
Many layers.
Yeah, and I think that right now, honestly, it's difficult for me to say exactly because I've been here pretty consistently since then. I've left a few times, but I think I have to really go somewhere and come back to see it.
Oh, you gain perspective majorly when you leave. I think that's one of the many reasons. I mean, I like to travel just to travel, but to leave, it's just to gain perspective. And sometimes it's different every time. Sometimes I come back and I'm like, oh my God, I love home. I love New Orleans. I love my house. And sometimes I go, you really could clean up your act a little bit, New Orleans. You know what I mean? So I mean, either way. But yeah, you. I mean, I think that's with anything in life, but definitely this city to take a little break from it. Yeah. I mean, selfishly, my question is, do you want to hang around for a little while longer? Clearly, you know where I'm going with this question.
I told you we're going to be friends forever. So.
Okay, I have lots of long distance friends, so I don't doubt that at all. I just want to know physically how long can we play footsie? Can't play footsie over Zoom. You can still connect, but okay, all right.
Yeah.
I won't pressure you. I just wanted to know.
And this your love for New Orleans never does it wavers or?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
Oh Lord, no, it doesn't waver. I mean, but mine was instilled 7. I try to check with my dad, but his memory's just as bad as mine. Came here for the first time that I remember, and I remember. And you know what? Does it really matter if all of it's fully true? If it's my feelings and my memory, Yeah. I came down with my dad. I was 7 years old, one of 4, so we never got special trips. So that was, in and of itself, really special. Hop in the car. We're going to take an hour and a half drive to go get a car part. Well, my dad was going to get a car part for his massive white Chevy truck. The mirrors were like this big. Like it was 2 gas tanks. I remember he's like, oh, we're almost out. And he would like click to the bigger gas tank. Nuts, this truck. Red velvet interior. It was like a bus and then an extended cab. It was such a cool car. We took that truck to Minnesota. I guess when gas was cheaper, obviously. Many times. Anyway, took it here to get a car. It's a unique vehicle, so he needed the car part here, whatever. So went and bought it from a guy, like either Araby or Lower 9th, Chalmette. Wasn't in the city, but he's like, we're here. I got to take my kid to the city. And so he just took a little detour, tooled around. I'm pretty positive we went on a wrong way down the one way in this massive truck. Like, I distinctly remember that. I don't know if that was that trip or another one, but it was with that truck. And I just didn't even get upset. I don't know. My dad was like, it's fine. Oh, they can move. It's okay. And I was just like, jaw dropped with the architecture. I was a kid and I was like, this is stuff you see in books and movies. This is not anywhere else in Louisiana. There's nothing like it, much less many places I've visited. And it's been preserved all these years, and it's a complicated history, as we read. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest of the cities. It didn't do a lot of the greatest things. For many people, it wasn't great. But for me, just the beauty and the, like you were saying, the layers and the depth, I can't even think of a metaphor. It hit me hard, fell to the floor with like love and an emotion, and then we went and got a po' boy, and I was like, wait, they got good food, and they look good, and they're offering good stuff. Are you kidding me? And it just kept unfolding more and more. Wait, I'm sorry. Not only is there architecture, but there's people distinctly remember this. We got out, walked around like French Market, like not too far from our stomping grounds. French Market and Dutch Alley. Are you familiar with that? Yeah. Okay, so walk Dutch Alley, and it's still there, but that like artist co-op. And I remember, like, again, this is probably another trip. I'm probably meshing them together. But we did walk around the French Quarter with my dad, And I just remember being like, people do this. They do art. Like, people pay them. What? That's an option? And I was already, like, I had been drawing, like, plays from, like, 4 or 5. My mom still has them. They're, like people on a stage, like, talking to each other and acting.
Oh, that's so
I don't know where I got it from, but it was, like, plays as in, like, puffy, as I wear puffy shoulders. But, like, puffy shoulders and curly, like, some stuff from, like, centuries ago. People just, like, Shakespearean. I'm probably sure I just learned about Shakespeare, or something. Who knows? We'll have to deep dive into that. Anyway, I remember thinking, wait, I'm already into art. This is a career path. And I was like, that'll never happen to me. And then as I did more and more visits, I was like, this is really an opportunity. Pursued college, still thinking that that's not the thing. I'll go work at a museum or, work at a gallery, and then here we are. So I should have fast forwarded that. But no, my love for the city, of course, just 2 weeks ago, I was like, just sell the house. We'll move to the West Bank. Buy a turnkey, we'll have a pool, we'll have, think about how much nicer I could be living instead of, but Matt and I are both like, yeah, well, that'll never happen, obviously, I love it too much, and I love that we get to raise our kids here, so that's probably the coolest part, is that I get to share my love firsthand for them. They can be in a city around, talking about Jewish people, I've dated many, whatever. I didn't meet a Jewish person until I was 20, I think, or 21, maybe. We just didn't have them in South Louisiana, and so it was just so, I like that they get to experience the world an hour and a half from where my parents live, so I get the best of both. Major airport, we get to fly, we were flying to New York 4 or 5 times a year, buzz down for other places. It's just, it checks all the boxes for me. The history, close to a lot of my friends and stuff too, I get to drive an hour and see childhood best friend, it really, for me personally, my sister's in Dallas, my brothers are in Atlanta, if I leave, I'll leave the country. And we've said that 100 times. If I leave, which I'm not saying I'll never leave, but knock on wood. Don't say always, don't say never. Nothing's ever in concrete. But right now, if there's anywhere else I'm going to go, I've been to LA, I just don't really like no other city even touches this for me. As far as art, history, just finding a new adventure every single day. I get bored easy, okay? I can just go for a walk and something. Kermit Ruffins opened the door for me at Ace Hardware. You know Kermit Ruffins? Yeah, a week ago. I'm with Sydney. Yeah. Right before the storm. Today's Friday, so maybe 10 days ago. And I go in, I need an extension cord for the gallery. I was trying to set up that camera. And we stopped right there on Rampart, and we go to leave, and Sydney's like, what were those paw prints on the floor? And I see Kermit Ruffins, and I was like, oh my gosh, excuse me. No, ladies, y'all come through. And I was like, big fan. He goes, oh, thank you. Y'all stay safe for this. He was such a sweetie. And I was like, just enough, that's, you know what I mean?
That makes me want to cry for some reason.
Isn't that one? No, I felt really emotional. And I was like, Sydney, did you see that man? That was really nice of him to hold the door for us. I was like, it really was. But let me tell you that, it's cool. And he just, of course, he had a drink in his hand at 10 in the morning for whatever reason. He's like, I'm not telling on him. He knows what, he's always like that. But I'm sorry again. But that kind of magical moments, I've had so many that just happenstance. And I don't really know where else I could live that feels like a small town. I'm raising my kids in you've seen the street, the neighborhood. It feels like kids on the bike every afternoon. I know all my neighbors. They would do anything for me. They have during storms, checked on the houses and that. So you're getting that neighborly, feel with getting New York. You don't know you don't even know your neighbors when you live in a high rise. You don't know anyone else on the hallway. Not no one, but you know what I mean? I know people that have lived there, that live there. And it checks every box for me. I'm a country girl. My backyard is half mud, half fun. You know what I mean? I get to do all these things that I did when I was a kid with my kids, yet still have all of these big, larger than life experiences while doing what I love for a living. And Matt gets to work from anywhere. So, and he fell in love with this city when he was a teenager, which is why he, so for the both of us, it's just as hard as it is, and as much as she punches me in the face sometimes, I will, I think it's just right for me.
Yeah, that's so great.
It's not right for a lot of people, and I understand that, i.e. half of the people I grew up with, they're like, it's nasty, it's dirty, what are you doing? And I'm like, you don't have to get it. Yeah. If anything, the more people that don't get it, make it, because they come and they visit, and then they're like, oh, it's so nice, and then it's like, could you handle it? Most people can't, which is what makes it so awesome, because there's too many people kind of ruin everything, right? Isn't that what they say about Austin? It's losing its...
That's interesting.
Yeah, they say Austin, Portland, Seattle, all these funky cities. People are like, oh, it's awesome, let's move there. And then everybody moves there. But we're almost a third world country. So people move here, they live here for a year. We are though. Boil water advisory once a month, right? Just for whatever reason. So, corrupt government. I went down and got a background check for my kid's school the other day. You have to do it to volunteer, I haven't been to the courthouse, down, not far from my house on Broad. I didn't even know it was still open. This place is open for business, and there's wood where the windows should be. And it's not been like that since a storm. For at least 5 years I've driven by and been like, they must have moved it. Then I Google the address of where to go, and I was like, this is how our city is operating court? Have you been there?
No.
No need to go. I couldn't find parking. I walked past 2 different people that I smelled them a half a block away. I thought I was going to get mugged, and I was like, I see so many, it's junk. Anyway, they make it hard just to get the most basic, a license, a this, a that. I won't go into how we just had something posted on our front door about what else we're doing wrong in this city, but I still love it. That's true love right there.
It really is. Yeah.
It's delusion, I think, maybe.
No, I think there is some Buckminster.
Maybe I want to die. Maybe no, I'm just kidding. Maybe that's why I'm here.
Full circle.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm here for the jokes, guys. Just the jokes. Sorry,
Until you
what were you
die.
going to say? Yeah, until I die. I will joke until I die. How else are we getting through? We're talking about adversity. Jokes till you die.
Yeah, true that. I call humor the seventh sense. If you got that one, you make the rest work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. You have to laugh at everything. Sometimes when bad things happen, I literally just laugh out like audible, like, of course. Of course.
The absurdity of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, New Orleans, love, hate. Okay, so I know we're on time here. We're good. But so I might have to cut out some of, it's okay, it's not like I'll never talk to you
I
again.
love your pen.
I know, high five. Okay, so you went to school and as a profession, straight up an accountant, or what was your specific minor? Like, I guess speak to a little bit about that and how on earth you've told me you keep getting, you keep being called back to the work that you do now and to art.
Okay.
What is your,
That's
that's a big jump, okay? So it's not like you're like, I was a florist, or I was an interior decorator, and then I was a therapist, and now I want to do a different, that's like,
Well, again, like the foresight that you had as I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really have reliable guidance, and I knew college was a step I was going to take. School was always really easy for me, so I went to James Madison, which was gorgeous, and I didn't know I could be anything that wasn't business. So
you were like, must do business, must make money,
yeah,
must be
you,
successful.
I was really just doing artsy things, and then I was like, okay, so I got into business school, and I tried a few of the majors, and then I took accounting, and I was really good at it. And
Yeah.
the teacher was like, well, it's really easy to get a job, and I was like, okay. So I did that, and then I stayed and got my master's in it, and then a lot of the big
At the same
accounting-
university?
Yeah, the big accounting
that's great.
firms, yeah, recruit. So I had a job after, I interned with them between undergrad and grad, and I had a
Okay.
job.
Smart.
I mean, again, really was not, there was
No, but that's
very
great
little.
because that is another thing. You're talking about foresight. So many people I know that were creative, they're like, we'll get graphic design degree. We'll get a graphic design degree. Well, if you know anything about graphic design, but they're not making any money. And I remember looking into that and just being like, well, it can't be all about money. But very good on you if you're going to go to college. And I don't know if you had any loans or not, but most people did. And then they get a degree that does nothing for them. That is foresight. That's smart. You're like, no matter what, I will have no matter what other avenues I take, I will always be able to be an accountant, which is true. No matter where you land, you can,
Well, it's true.
you'll never be homeless.
I left rather directly. I left after 3 years,
Okay.
after my sister died, and I thought I was going to go help people. So I did it with fitness and nutrition. I left and went and did
Oh, cool.
personal training and nutrition coaching in Miami.
Oh,
And
nice.
then that's what kind of went into sort of what's interesting, what's this behavior thing? Why is everybody not doing what they want to do? Why aren't I doing what I want to do? What is
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
So
that
you
was-
learned that 10 years, 8 years before. I feel like so many people during COVID were like, why am I doing these things? I don't want to be doing these things. So, but you had that revelation from personal experiences.
Yeah, I kind of I was at the National Science Foundation when I left, and we had a great team there, a great project. The agency was great. I was living down the street. I did yoga at lunch. I'd run at the track in the morning, and I still felt and I was like, if I don't feel happy now in the best of circumstances, as far as consulting goes, because it can be there are a lot of horror stories from consultants, and that's what I was there under the umbrella of. I was like, if this isn't doing it for me, I better acknowledge that.
Right.
I jumped into the wild and made all kinds of messes.
No, but that's fascinating though. And to have the courage to do that.
Again, probably not courage, just naivety, and I was just like, okay.
I'm out.
No, it's so admirable though, because we get comfortable, we get stuck almost in a place, and not many people can say, I just wanted to, just say fuck it, try something else.
Well, again, like, I think that there are probably more organized and, like, intentional, and, like, it hasn't been, I made things a lot harder than they needed to be often. But I learned a lot.
Yeah, you've lived a lot.
Yeah.
Wait, so how long were you in Miami?
From 2013 to 2019.
Oh, that's so long. Wow. And then you went to Dallas, and then.
Then I wanted to move to LA.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Okay.
So I went to Santa Monica
In
2019.
2019.
Well, at the beginning of 2020.
Okay.
And then COVID happened, and so then I tried out Santa Cruz, and then Seattle, and then Dallas.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's fun.
It was cool. I was in Seattle. I was there by myself. Like, I went everywhere by myself without knowing anyone, which was like a really interesting experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just, again, I think I had a lot of. I was making moves away from things, not necessarily toward anything. It's
Yeah, but you're living and you're experiencing and you're seeing things.
yeah, that's true.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, you see stuff.
Okay, so I mean, you obviously. I'm saying what is into art. Is it okay that I show this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Shaylee made this for me, which I'm so. Yeah, that's straight. Okay. We can just show that at the end.
Did you put the
Nope,
D
I
on
just
it?
nope. It's there. It's just doing its own thing. It's probably because it's so humid and sticky down here. It's doing its own thing.
Just
So
like lick and stick.
yeah, yeah. I love this so much. This makes me feel so special. Yellow, obviously my favorite color, but also my book that says a goal is a dream with a deadline. It's very spot on
Oh,
too.
right.
Yeah,
That's
this
the
is
one for Paige.
Yep, this is
Yeah.
the book from Paige, which I've been using religiously.
I love the gold edges.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
That's a really
And here,
pretty one.
the edges too. It's really fancy.
that's
So,
really
and I'm
pretty.
just mucking it up using it. Yeah, I'm definitely not, but it is nice. So, okay, back to your art. You use, my plan was, which we will do next time, to kind of like take something that I've done or like started, or maybe we just started together and have you work with pastels or oil pastels, so we'll get a little messy next time. But I mean, have you tried different mediums? Do you just kind of use whatever just to experiment and have fun? Have you found a favorite? Is that your favorite? And also your subject matter, this is loaded. And we're obviously not going to get enough answers from these questions, but yeah, tell me a little bit about, you've painted a lot of women, you've painted a lot of, like, just from what I've seen, Tron, pastels.
You're so good with battery recall. You really.
When I care and I like you, yes. If it's something that I'm not interested in, forget it. But I really,
Yeah.
you're very interesting to me, so I try to like note
Well, I
and
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, you're cool. You're awesome. Obviously, I don't think I'm the only one. Once this gets out there, the secrets are going to be out, and you're going to have people. You're going to be too busy to see me. Oh yeah. So okay, that was the question. Do I need to reiterate? Where do you want to begin?
Well, I do want to make sure like we're spending adequate time to like. I want to highlight your art as well.
Sure,
and
we
I
will.
guess, like,
We have more time to do it. We're going to do both,
Okay.
but we're going to talk about yours just a little bit.
Okay.
Or no, we can skip this question if you want to just do a whole art thing about yours and then mine and yours and mine.
like a different conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I want to.
We can do that.
Okay.
Okay, she's good at art, guys. Next question. Okay, this is a good light one to end on, and then we'll. If you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. But I've admired these tattoo rings.
Okay.
Do you?
You pay attention to a lot of stuff.
Well, that's really cool and easy though, because I love bangles, and I'm like, oh my god, she has permanent bangles. She never has to remember her bangles. Not really, because obviously they mean more than that. I'm sure you weren't just like, can you do eyeliner, brows, and bangles, please? I'm sure. But if you don't have to talk about them because I know tattoos are personal and it's on your body. But I'm just curious. I thought it might be.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, they're my instructions for living. On the underside, it says here, now, all one, silence, and feel. And it's in my handwriting because you write your own destiny.
Yes.
And they're actually 8s that are slipped on like bracelets. And I
Okay.
did that for the triple archetype in my 8th house, which basically meant that I rigged this life to wake up. So I caused myself enough, turbulence for me to ask questions to kind of like get at the root of things. And then I have my birthmark, the line skips over it because you got to play it where it lies.
Wait, let me see. Oh, it sure does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had this done by the woman who sat next to me on the plane back from when I evacuated from Hurricane. What was one? Not Ida.
I was gonna say, which one are we talking?
Ian? I don't know. It was several
What
years.
year?
It was 2018.
Isaac was 16,
Irma.
I think. Irma. Why are the I's? We should just know if it's an I.
Oh,
Yeah, Ida, Isaac, Irma. What a bad name. Okay, so you evacuated from Irma. You saw her on the plane. She was also
She sat
evacuating.
next to me, yeah, on the way back, and I was like, oh, okay, because I got this one on 10-10-10 to pierce into the universe, and I think I got this one. I don't know what date I got this one, but it was to be connected to this idea. So
Okay.
that's what they are.
So you're saying they're eights? Aren't eights also like infinity symbols?
Yeah.
I know a couple of things. No, that's fascinating. I don't think I've clocked I think maybe I clocked something on the inside, but I didn't see that it was that. Okay, so love
Here,
here.
now, all, one, be silent or still, and feel.
So all one, marinate on it all. So shut up sometimes, Crystal. Be silent. And then what's the last one?
Feel.
Feel. Okay, I thought you said free. I was like, I got the free part down pat. Okay, so feel. So feel all the feel. That's full circles. Circles in your hands. Fully into. I planned all of this for it to come back to. No, I'm just kidding. Not at all. Well, that is really fascinating. I'm glad I know now. Okay, last thing. We're gonna end on. Nope, that's not it. I don't even know why I wrote that.
I love that you typed and you printed.
Well.
And she made a little snack plate.
Oh yeah.
whole
Well, we can't
charcuterie
talk on
tray.
it. Can't talk on an empty stomach.
So
Okay,
good.
so when do we get to hang out next? When do we go gallivanting around in this better weather? Was
I'm ready
what
to
we're
go.
going to end on? What are we going to do? Gallery hopping or something fun? So,
Yeah, whatever you want.
okay, so we're going to have fun without the cameras. All right, so this was great.
Thank you.
Okay,
You
who's
did a great
first?
job.
Yay! We're all going to die one day.